This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, the Hazleton Area School District is looking at making some big cuts to help offset a big budget deficit. Hi everyone, and please get as comfortable as possible for the next 20-some minutes of local information. I'm Ken Kerr and I really appreciate your time. So here's your headlines from FYI and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. The Hazleton Area School District is considering some major changes triggered by budget concerns. Potential options discussed at a special public meeting last night included a 4-day school week and half-day kindergarten. We talked with District Superintendent Dr. Craig Butler and Assistant Business Manager Bob Krasansky about the changes under consideration.
We spent long hours just coming up with numerous types of cuts. We've explored all revenue options that we have. We didn't get our final number from the state yet. We're hoping, as far as the taxes are concerned, we didn't get the assessed values yet from our counties, so we don't really even know where we stand tax-wise yet until all the assessed values are sent to us sometime now, I'm hoping in mid-June. So when you don't have the revenues coming in, unfortunately, the only thing you're left to do is to cut expenses. And we were looking at some measures as half-day kindergarten, which we had a public meeting last evening, invited the entire public, the press, the PTA parents, and wanted to hear their feedback on items, again, such as the half-day kindergarten, possibly a 4-day work week on a conservative approach, maybe just over the winter months the first year, just to see if that's something that we can, save some money with heating cost and less transportation for that day off for the students. We're also looking at the transportation department. We paid for a study to be done to all of our routes to make sure we're running them as efficient as possible. We're just getting the report back on that this week, coming up the end part of this week, and we'll know if we have some significant savings there by consolidating some routes.
If we lose hours, so to speak, by not recouping the hours from the loss of the 5th day, from the standpoint of student performance, student achievement, and continuing our quest to get better as a school district, one area that I would concentrate on is being very careful about losing too much instructional time. Our kids need it, they deserve it. We want our students to be competitive with their peers across the state. So that is a concern. Something that came up last night, again, that would be certainly a topic of discussion moving forward, is the curriculum. Can we deliver the curriculum with fidelity given the reduced hours, if such plays out by the reduction of the 5th day?
Some people in attendance at last night's meeting did express concerns over a reduced school week and half-day kindergarten. Half-day kindergarten would mean 2 sessions, one from 9 a.m. until noon and another from 12:30 until 3:30 p.m. Officials say an early retirement incentive has thus far kept furloughs to a minimum. Meanwhile, the budget process will continue until the school board adopts the final version later this month. You can read more about the school district discussion in today's Standard Speaker or at standardspeaker.com. In other news, it has been quite a hot topic for quite some time, but wine will soon be easier to buy here in the Keystone State. Governor Tom Wolf was expected to sign the historic liquor reform legislation this afternoon. The bill allows grocery stores that currently sell beer to sell up to 4 bottles of wine per customer. The law will also allow restaurants and hotels to sell up to 4 bottles of wine for takeout and removes Sunday restrictions and state-mandated holidays. There's a need for a year-round homeless shelter in the Hazleton area. That was the outcome of a pilot program that took place from February 8th through May 9th of this year. The effort was organized by Catholic Social Services of Hazleton. Neil Alberto is the executive director. He recently completed a report on the project, which will be known as Divine Providence Shelter.
There were actually 69 residents who took advantage of the shelter. The ages range from 19 years old to 73, with the average age of an individual is around 40 years old. It was about 75% males, 25% females. 90% of those individuals were right from this community. Since that time, you know, a little less than a month ago, we're probably up to about 77 individuals now who have resided there at the shelter.
Wow, that's a tough pill to swallow, knowing so many people in our community are homeless. So now you did this pilot program, you've come out with a report on it. Where do you go from here?
We actually got approval from our diocesan board. The diocese, through the annual appeal, was able to provide some seed funds for it. Churches in this local community, United Way, individuals who contributed. So we got approval at our last board meeting, diocesan board meeting, that as long as there's continued funds available, to move forward with it and establish this as a permanent program in the community.
And you were rotating locations, which made it very difficult. You had a lot of volunteers coming out from various churches, but it was moving around. But now you have a stable location, and this is going to be a program you hope to have year-round.
We do, you know, in a real sense, and it was a challenge. We actually run a shelter in the Wyoming Valley, and it rotates, and it is such a challenge. In a sense, it sort of epitomizes the life that these individuals are leading, but the goal is to continue to maintain a stable location. We are at a stable location right now on South Laurel Street, and it's a building owned by one of the churches, actually, gracious enough to let us be utilizing that. And we're hoping now to, again, analyze what the needs have been, how much space we actually will need, and move forward from there.
Now, you were giving shelter to the homeless, but you're looking to do a lot more than that, because you want to help these people get back into society and get back on track.
Absolutely, and that's been part of it. It wasn't, you know, initially it was providing a meal and shelter, and that was done. And done, oh God, the generosity of the community has been tremendous. The churches, the volunteers, as you said, who have stepped forward, wonderful and just so inspiring. But part of this as well has been to do assessments and work with people to establish goals. And we've moved quite a few individuals into permanent housing, employment, working with them on such basic things as identification, health issues. Literally, the program has, health-wise, saved some individuals' lives who had been out in the elements and everything. So good things happening there in that regard. One of the other things we're looking for as well that was recommended was a volunteer mentor, someone who'd be sort of like a big brother, big sister, if you would, who would be willing to work with an individual when they come into the program to be able to sort of help them to move along in attaining their goals, to move towards self-sufficiency. The maximum time someone's allowed to stay is 45 days. So someone really needs to be working diligently to reach those goals in that time frame.
Alberto says anyone interested in becoming a mentor or making a donation to help sustain the shelter can call Catholic Social Services at 570-455-1521 or stop by their offices at 214 West Walnut Street in Hazleton. 2 men are facing theft charges after state police at Hazleton recovered items believed to have been stolen from vehicles and garages in Tresco and Hazleton area this week. The items include GPS systems, multiple cell phones, a Dell laptop marked as belonging to Bloom Energy, a Kodak EasyShare camera, a black RCA monitor, and a garage door opener. The items are believed to be stolen from vehicles and garages on Tuesday and prior nights. Anyone with information on the thefts or who can identify the items, they're asked to call state police at 570-459-3890. Former Hazle Township solicitor Charles Pedri entered into a plea agreement yesterday. According to our media partner, the Standard Speaker, Charles Pedri entered into a plea agreement with federal prosecutors and will plead guilty to a felony count of theft. He's accused of stealing more than $100,000 that he held in trust for a development project in the township. High bacteria levels have forced the closure of the beach at Beltzville State Park in Carbon County. The State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources closed the beach this morning. It will remain closed until acceptable water sample results are received. Signs have been posted at the beach. Other activities at Beltzville, such as picnicking, fishing, boating, and hiking, are not affected by the beach closure and will take place as usual. One Hazleton restaurant is recognizing local high school graduates with a free dinner. 3 Bobby D's in Hazleton is offering a free entree up to $15 limit to all local high school graduates this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That includes Hazleton Area High School, MMI Preparatory School, Marian Catholic, Weatherly Area, and Crestwood graduates. The high school graduate must present his or her 2015-16 diploma. The offer is also being extended to school directors, superintendents, and directors of education. A reservation is recommended but not required. 3 Bobby D's offers delicious Italian and American cuisine. They tell us that this is their way to honor this major accomplishment for the local graduates and wish them luck in their future endeavors. For more information or for a reservation, call 3 Bobby D's at 785 North Locust Street in Hazleton at 570-455-6171. Coming up next on FYI, we go into the woods with the crew from Wild Bout Hunting. Okay, we go into our Laurel Mall studio, not the woods, but they will give us tips on hunting in the woods. Then get out your hip party hats. I was hanging out with members of the Hazleton Integration Project and Hazleton's own Joe Madden in Philadelphia on Tuesday. Check out that story in sports.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
All right, hey, welcome to this week's Wild Bout Hunting segment. We're going to talk a little archery with you today. To help me do that is a good friend of ours and owner of J&D Archery Shop, Jack Overton. Jack, welcome to the set.
Thanks, Dennis.
All right. Jack, tell me where the shop's located so everybody knows how to find you, first of all.
126 East Holly Street, right across the street from Apps.
All right, awesome, man. And we're familiar with that because we work at APTS, me and a lot of the guys on the team here. So, Jack, you've been helping us out with the archery equipment for many, many years, especially since we've been involved with Wild Bout Hunting here now. How many years have you been in business yourself just with the shop?
13.
13 years. And I can probably attest to that because I've been coming there for most of those 13 years.
Right.
Okay. We shoot right now, we were fortunate enough this year to partner with a company called Moxie Archery, but what is the type of bow, the brand that you specifically work with at the shop?
PSE.
PSE, yep. And is there any brand that you can't work on if someone were to come with a problem, like for instance us with our Moxies?
No, we can work on just about anything.
Okay, all right. And what other things do you have to offer people when they come into the shop as far as archery equipment?
Tune-ups, strings, cables, arrows, crossbows, crossbow bolts, anything pretty well to do with archery.
Okay, great. And what are your hours of operation? How can people, when can they come to see you?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, 3 to 8, and Saturday, 9 to 2.
Okay, there you have it. He's open pretty much any time that you need to stop in there. And if not, how can they get in touch with you to call?
570-455-1798.
Okay, and we'll have that at the bottom of the screen so you can give Jack a call if you need to set up a time to come in and have your bow or equipment looked at. He'll be there. He'll make sure that he's available to help you. And if somebody needs any kind of help getting set up or anything like that, whether you're new to archery or you're a seasoned hunter, give Jack a call. He'll help you make sure you have the right equipment to get you set up. Check him out on Facebook, and we'll see you somewhere next week in the hunting woods.
Right.
And remember to watch Dennis and the crew on Wild Bout Hunt on the Hunt channel and right here on SSPTV. A new episode airs each Monday at 4:30 p.m.
Time now for FYI News 13 weather.
It rained earlier today in Hazleton. I got wet, but it's all good because I got to hang out near my old neighborhood at Coryell Stadium. Good times. Here's our local forecast from the National Weather Service. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 43 degrees. We'll have a northwest wind 10 to 18 miles per hour with gusts as high as 28 miles per hour. It'll stay windy on Thursday, but sunny with a high near 67 degrees. We could see wind gusts once again as high as 28 miles per hour. Thursday night, mostly clear with a low around 46 degrees, the wind down to 8 to 13 miles per hour. On Friday, sunny with a high near 68. Friday night, partly cloudy, low of 50 degrees. On Saturday, we have a 50% chance of showers with possible thunderstorms, partly sunny with a high near 72. Saturday night, 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms, low of 55. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 69 degrees, and then Sunday night, partly cloudy, low of 51.
Tonight's weather is brought to you by Valley High, the area's oldest ice cream and fast food restaurant. Stop on in for a cold treat including our ice cream and yogurt, or some hot food including our burgers, hot dogs, fries, and much more. That's Valley High, Route 93 in West Hazleton. Treat yourself today.
Crazy eights on the board in the pick 5. Here's your midday winning Pennsylvania lottery numbers. Pick 250, pick 5077, pick 46993, and pick 5 88836. When we come back on FYI of the Sportscast, but before that, let's talk about the Shop 2, another one of our great sponsors. Did you know that the Shop 2 is celebrating their 6th-year anniversary with 2 fabulous events? Don't miss the garage sale this Friday from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the Shop 2's 11th Street location. Then check out the huge sidewalk sale from 10 to 4 on Saturday at the Broad Street location. Furniture and collectibles will be on sale, plus free refreshments, and you can enter to win a gift certificate to the Shop 2, where there's always something for everyone's taste in vintage and antique home decor. Celebrating their 6th-year anniversary this Friday and Saturday. For more information, check them out on Facebook. We'll be right back.
This is FYI News 13 Sports.
The Hazleton Integration Project packed a bus with people and third base hoagies and made their way to Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia on Tuesday. It's always fun to take in a ball game, and it's even better when Hazleton's own Joe Madden is a part of it. Citizens Bank Park is a big place, in a big city, in the big leagues. Chicago Cubs manager Joe Madden never forgets the little city where he grew up playing Little League. During his pregame press conference on Tuesday, he was asked about a Jason Hayward home run hit the night before for the Cubs. The reporter asked Madden if it reminded him of the balls he used to hit when he was playing.
At Coryell Stadium. That was really well struck.
Just like that, Madden led off with a Hazleton reference on a night when the group he founded, the Hazleton Integration Project, was coming to cheer him on. Bob Curry is the president of HIP.
Joe's always there for Hazleton, all these events. Is it important for Hazleton to be there for him as well?
This is a point that I stress over and over during the year because Joe has devoted so much time, so much energy, and the results have been phenomenal in our city. And I think it behooves all of us to take a look at what this man has done for his community and to support him every step of the way.
Pete Kennedy is proof that Madden and HIP's message is getting through. He lives in the Chicago area and is a lifelong Cubs fan, but he made the trip to Philadelphia with the Hazleton Integration Project. He connected with HIP after Madden was announced as the Cubs' new manager in 2014. Kennedy sells t-shirts as a side business, and when he found out about HIP, he wanted to make a shirt and donate some of the proceeds to the cause in Hazleton. Last year's shirt read, "Joe has the antigoat," and this year says, "We've got the mojo."
I think their belief and getting the community together, I think it resonates throughout, no matter where you're at, whether you're from Hazleton or you're from the suburbs of Chicago, that resonates throughout. And I'm about the same thing. You bring people together, and once people get together, do good things, good things happen.
Madden is pretty busy during the season, but he still keeps up to date with what's going on with HIP. Curry says he was in Chicago last week and had dinner with Madden and his wife, Jay. The HIP group wasn't able to get on the field to talk with Madden before the game because of some rain in the area, but you can bet at least one member of the group got to communicate with the reigning National League Manager of the Year.
He calls his mother dutifully, just like every other hometown son, and he calls her every week, and Beanie's here, of course, tonight with us, so she's a bit of celebrity in her own right. And Carmine, Joe's sister, is with us, and so we have kind of a family affair.
It was once Madden sitting in the stands in Philadelphia, looking on in awe of what was in front of him.
I went once to Veterans and watched Jeff Jones participate in an all-star game. I wasn't involved. I had to sit in the stands and watch it. And that was just sitting in the stands watching them on a Major League field, Major League diamond, is special, man. So I hope the kids really appreciate it. I think they will.
Chance DeAndrea is 10 years old, and he already seemed like he was enjoying himself even before the first pitch.
Baseball fan, or I mean just here for Joe?
Both.
A little bit of both?
A little bit.
Do you go to the community center at all? Are you ever there?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? What do you do there when you're there?
Usually me and my sister play around in the gym.
How much fun is it? I mean, would you encourage other kids to go there? What would you say for other kids to get there?
I would say that it's really fun there and they should really try and go and check it out.
Up the hill from the Hazleton 1 Community Center and a few blocks over is Coryell Stadium, where the early chapters of Joe Madden's big league story were written in a small city in northeast Pennsylvania. If you aren't a big baseball fan, Joe as the antigoat refers to the curse of the billy goat supposedly placed on the Cubs in the early 1900s. Read about it online, and while you're doing your research, check out mkt.com/CubBum4Life, that's the number 4, and look at Kennedy's t-shirts. You can support the Cubs and HIP with a purchase. We'll have more with Madden this upcoming Tuesday on FYI. Well, there was a baseball game played at Citizens Bank Park on Tuesday, and here's the result on the FYI standard speaker scoreboard. Ryan Howard hit a home run, and Jared Eichhoff had 8 strikeouts on the mound as the Phillies got the win. The two teams were battling again this afternoon in Philly in the series finale. And check out this slugfest. The Rail Riders scored 11 runs and snapped a 3-game losing streak. They play Charlotte at home tonight at 6:35. The Hazleton Area High School skeet team was on target in Patton, PA. The Cougars took first at the Pennsylvania State SCTP Skeet Championship. Their varsity teams were also second and third, as well as winning first place, and the JV team was second. The Big HA now has nationals to look forward to in Ohio this summer, and you have the social report to look forward to and more FYI after that. I'll see you then. It's Wednesday, and here's some delicious alliteration. It's signature steak night at Bottlenecks. All of their signature steaks are only $9.95 plus bottomless soup and salad for only $2.95.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, Lehigh Valley Health Network will be holding a free hands-only CPR class for the community on June 10th at 5:30. The class will be held at the Health and Wellness Center, is open to anyone 13 years old and up. For info or to register, please call 570-501-6600. Our next announcement, Holy Rosary Parish of Hazleton will be hosting a free community luncheon Saturday, June 11th from 10:30 a.m. to noon at Catholic Social Services in Hazleton. It is located at 214 West Walnut Street, and all are welcome to attend. And the parish would like to thank the Hazleton Rotary and the Weinberg Regional Food Bank. And finally, Holy Trinity Orthodox Church, 223 South Kennedy Drive in McAdoo, be having a pierogi and halushki sale Friday, June 10th from 10 a.m. to 5:30. Please call ahead to secure your order at 570-929-2179. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Marion Ney, formerly of Hazleton. Memorial services will be announced by the Hazel Chapel of the Cropton Hughes Funeral Home. Lois S. Holman of Weatherly. Memorial is Saturday at 2 p.m. from the First Presbyterian Church. Arrangements are under the direction of the Philip J. Jeffries Funeral Home. Robert E. Nagel Jr., formerly of Freeland. Graveside service is Saturday at 2 p.m. from the Freeland Cemetery. The Evans Funeral Chapel is in charge of arrangements. And Alice Casper Alf of Sterling, Virginia. Mass is Friday at 10 a.m. at the St. John Bosco Church. Local arrangements are under the direction of the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home.
Hazleton area Lady Cougars softball team in action tomorrow at noon in the state quarterfinals. We'll see what happens. Take it easy, everyone.